Hey everyone, my name's Meg. I am the teacher for the ukulele classes here at Buchanan District Library, and I'm just making this video quickly today. If you're new to ukulele and you're just going to be starting with us, this is to give you an introduction to tuning, because sometimes the first time that we get together, if you've never tuned a string instruments before, that can be the part that's a little confusing to people. So we are going to go through all of this together in our first class, but I'm just giving those of you who would like it a head start. Okay, so you've got your ukulele, maybe you own your own, or maybe you checked one out from the library. It's probably one of two sizes. This one is a concert size. The other most common size is a soprano size, and we have both here at the library. They're tuned exactly the same though, so it doesn't matter for the purposes of tuning which type you have. So the other thing that you're going to get with you if you checked one out from the library is a little tuner like this guy, a little clip-on tuner. So it just clips right onto the headstock of the ukulele. The other option you might have if you own your own and you don't have one of these guys is to download a tuning app onto your phone. They work just a little bit differently. This kind senses the vibrations in the instrument. The tuning app actually has to listen to it using your phone. But they do the same thing. So whatever kind of tuner you're using, it's going to kind of work in the same way. Now, ukulele strings are tuned in a specific way. Again, both soprano and concert are the same. They're going to be tuned G, C, E, A, okay? So that's starting from the string that is closest to your chin when you're holding it correctly, which is over to your left side. Again, G, C, E, A. Now, if you see something that's numbering the strings, it's telling you which number string, they go from the bottom up. So this is string number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. I just changed the strings on this guy, so this is either a wonderful or a terrible time to be making a video because my strings are probably out of tune right now. So let's see if it sounds correct. No, I'm having some trouble with that C string. Let me fix that for you and then I'll show you what it should sound like. Thanks for bearing with me. Okay, so now when a ukulele is tuned correctly, it should sound like this. Let me do it a little louder. Okay, that's the sound that it should be making if all your strings are in tune. If you're not in tune, nothing that you play is going to sound good, even if you're doing it correctly. So tuning is the first step. So what I just did here is I turned on my little tuner. It's got a tiny little power button on the side, and there's a couple different types of these at the library, but they work essentially the same way. So there's a power button, and to turn it on, I just need to press and hold, and it will come on. And you might also be able to see that in the bottom corner there's a tiny little U, which stands for ukulele. If I continue to press the power button, it cycles through a couple different modes for different instruments. But you're really going to want it to be on the U to make sure that it's helping you tune a ukulele and not a violin or a banjo or something else, because that can be confusing. So once it's on the U setting, which again you get to by just pressing the power button over and over again, then you're ready to start tuning. So let's start from the G string, which is the number 4 string. It's the string that's closest to your face if you are holding the ukulele correctly, over to your left side. So we can see if we follow this string all the way up to the headstock, we come to a tuning peg, is what this is called. That's where the string is attached. And the way we change the sound of the string is by turning this peg one way or the other. One way will make it tighter, the other way will make it looser. As the string is looser, it will get more flat. As it's tighter, it will get more sharp. So let's see where we're at here. Again, I just changed these strings today. A lot of things can change. You know, the tuning of your strings is not going to, it's not going to be like you tune it once and then you never have to tune it again. You'll have to tune it before every time that you play, and maybe throughout playing. Sometimes you hear something's a little bit off. If your strings are brand new, like the ones I just put on, they're going to take a few days to kind of settle in and not need to be tuned as often. Also, the weather can affect your the tuning. It'll go out of tune more if the weather and humidity fluctuate. So tuning is just always something you got to check and keep an eye on. Okay, so we can see we're actually pretty close to what we need to be, but I'm going to take it a little bit further out of tune. Okay, so this G is now flat. It's not in the correct pitch. We need to get that little meter right at the 0, right in the middle of the, right here, okay? So right now it's flat. It's too low. We need to make it tighter so that we can make the pitch higher. So now I'm just continually plucking that string with my thumb. At the same time, I'm turning this peg up until it goes right in the middle. It turns green, and we're back in pitch for that particular string. All right, let's check the next one. The next one down should be a C. This is the one that's been giving me trouble since I just changed my strings. It keeps going flat on me. So we're also going to tighten this one up. Just keep turning it until we get back into the green here. Cool, all right. So we got G, C. Now we need to go to A. So that's jumping down here. Again, if you get confused about which one you're doing, just follow the string up to the tuning peg that you're trying to turn. Okay, so E, a little flat. Usually your strings are going to go flat rather than sharp unless you accidentally turned it too sharp. That's not always true though. Don't quote me on that. And then A, we're also going to tune that up a little bit because these strings that I just put on are still stretching out, so that's why they're so loose like that. Okay. So again, that's what it sounds like when it's roughly in tune. I think that C is continuing to go flat on me throughout this video, so sorry about that. Okay. So some people are going to ask, well, which direction do I turn the peg? So I know that can really be a little bit confusing at first. I'm just going to encourage you to use your ears. So let's go back to the G string. So if I'm turning it this way, well, I can hear it keeps getting higher, okay? And then if I turn it the opposite way, I can hear it keeps getting lower. So I would just encourage you to use your ear on that. So if you start turning it and it's not going the direction you want, let's say you want it to go higher, but it sounds like it's getting lower, that just means you need to turn the peg the opposite direction. You'll get a feel for it after a while, and it'll just be natural to you which way you need to turn it. But just, it's a good chance to practice using your ears. The other area that can come in handy is sometimes it's possible that your ukulele could be wildly out of tune. So the one that I'm showing you right now, it was pretty close to start with. But if you know, for example, this is supposed to be G, but it's not even telling you G when you pluck it. It's telling you E or A or some other note that it's not even supposed to be. That just means you're quite a ways off and you're really going to have to tune it through several notes. Maybe even through a whole octave before you get to the note that you're supposed to be at. So again, I would use your ears. Like you could use this video or another video you could find of someone showing the tuning of a ukulele. Listen to what the sound of the string is supposed to be, and then try to get your ukulele to match. So it's good to not completely rely on technology. And to start using your ear to do it as well. That'll help you out a lot in the future. So I hope that wasn't too confusing. I know I went pretty quick. And again, if you've never tuned a string instrument before, it can be a little bit intimidating at first. But luckily, because it's something you're going to have to do every time you play, you will get comfortable with it pretty quickly because it's just an essential skill. So Again, don't worry too much. If you just feel like you need more help with this, we're definitely going to go through it. But if you wanted to get a head start, I hope this video was helpful. Thanks. See you around.